I put the epoxy on, but it's not drying very fast. It's pretty cold, kind of wet, damp, humid, so I'm not gonna wait around here and wait for it to dry. It's like watching paint dry, right? But hey y'all, on the boat this evening after a day of work. So it's a regular Thursday night work week, and here to follow up on some of the steering projects that we've been working on the past few days. So the first thing I'm going to do is check to see if my epoxy is cured. I don't know why, but I'm always a little bit nervous that my epoxy isn't going to cure up. It's never happened, knock on wood, but I don't know. And I have my ratios down right, and you guys know that I weigh it out, so I do it good, but just something that makes me nervous. So let's check on that first. Make sure the epoxy job that we did is cured properly, and then could we get one of the conduits in today? That would be nice. Let's see what we can do. Okay, here's one of our epoxy jobs. Oh yeah, nice and cured. Very, very good. Makes me happy. So if this one cured, the rest of it did. So that's that's good news, because we did, holes down that way as well. So let's see if we can pull some conduit. Cool. Here's a new conduit. It's actually in the boat. It's in the boat. But I haven't installed it yet, clearly. But it's in the boat. So actually, in order to feed this through, we're gonna have to take off one of these end caps here. Which is no big deal, I hope. But our hole to feed this through the bulkheads is not much larger than this. So one of these is going to have to come off. And then it's really just the first hole that's going to be the challenge. Yeah. And what I mean by first hole is this. So I'll turn on this light for you. So that hole over there is technically the first hole, but the conduit ends there. So this one of these will spin off. This end will stick through that hole, and then then you put this nut on the other side of the bulkhead, and it clamps down and it holds it in place. So we don't actually have to like feed the conduit in from this way all the way back. We can really just start it at this hole where we have our fish lines attached, and then feed it back that way. But in order to feed it back that way, we're gonna have to take off one of these so it fits through the holes we've got cut in the bulkhead. Interesting. Okay, look how clean that is. It doesn't even rub off on my hands. It's amazing. I love new things for the boat. Okay, so let's try to get that pulled off, and then maybe, yeah, feed this through. I think we can do it. Okay, so we're gonna pull this end piece off, and one of the things I'm looking out for is how far in was this conduit fitted into this fitting from the factory. So I ordered these straight from Edson, and the reason why I want to know that is because I'm gonna actually have to cut this in half somewhere along the conduit run, and insert a grease fitting. So every, I don't know, year or so, we'll just put it on the list. Well, whatever Edson specifies, we'll look at their maintenance schedule. We'll just put it on the list for regular maintenance. And that grease fitting, you just pat grease in it so that way it lubricates the inside of the conduit here. But in order to put that grease fitting on, you have to cut this in half. And the grease fitting itself, the fittings are almost identical to this. Actually, hold on. Let's just go get one for you. Okay. Hi, I'm back. So here's the grease fitting I'm talking about. So see how it's pretty much identical to that? It just has this grease fitting cup on the end. So this top unscrews, and then you stuff your grease in there, and then the grease goes down here into this, and the actual cable that steers the boat goes through the conduit, through this, takes a little bath in the grease here, and then as you turn the wheel, the cable goes back and forth and keeps lubricating itself. So that's how the cable gets greased in here. So in order to put this on, like I said, I'm gonna have to cut this cable in half and then slide one end of it into here, the other end of it in here, and then tighten it down and clamp it down with this, just like this is. But the whole reason I'm saying this is because how far do you slide the conduit in? Do you slide it in to there, somewhere in the middle? I don't know. So when I take this off, that's come from Edson, the manufacturer, this is straight from them, we'll know how far they put it in there. The other thing too is maybe there's a stopper built into there to prevent it from going too far. No, doesn't look like it. And then if it goes too far and those two ends are touching, there's not a lot of room in there for our grease bath. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We always do. Here's the grease. This is just, you know, classic grease you'd find on a boat. Very common. Comes in various sizes and things like that, but good brand, good stuff, useful in a lot of places. Okay, let's finally get this thing pulled off. Now what should happen is we should just be able to, yeah, cool. Let's go ahead and mark that with a little piece of tape. So we know how far in this guy was seated when we pull it off. There we go. All right. That's a little too loose. I don't want to lose that either. There we go. All right. Oh, okay. So, yeah, pretty much as far as it can go is what I'm seeing. You guys seeing the same? Maybe even, it's even kind of going past this nut here. Interesting. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense because, yeah, it does go in there pretty good. All right, we'll just leave that tape on so we know how far to put it back. So we are preparing to pull the conduit through. the various holes and the slots in the bulkhead. Just tying this fish line around the outside or taping it wouldn't work, because the hole that this has to pass through is not much bigger in diameter than the conduit itself. So I tried this out. I put a little bit of tape on the end of this, burnt the end with a lighter, then took some seizing wire, just stainless steel seizing wire, shoved it through, poked it through the rope so it's embedded in there nice and deep, brought it down, and then twisted it around the conduit itself and really clamped it down and pulled it tight, so that hopefully as I tug on that to pull the conduit through, it's not going to go anywhere. We'll see. Never done that before, just thought about it right now, so we'll see if that works. In theory it should work if the wire and the rope hold onto the conduit strong enough. Let's give it a go. Only one way to find out is give it a try. All right, so I got you guys set up so hopefully you can see up there where this is going to be pulled. So it's this one, the 3 strand, not this one. So keep an eye on this one. That one's going to be pulled up through and out into the lazarette. We're looking aft right now. Yeah, cool. Look at that. It's in this hole. Check it out. Now that it's in its hole, let's go see if we can pull it all the way through. So it goes from here all the way back behind the pantry, all the way back here, and then through a bulkhead here, but it's kind of a bigger bulkhead, not a little hole like we just saw, back behind the fridge, and then through that bulkhead there. Again, it's more of a half moon cutout on these two instead of a little hole, so all around, all through here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be too bad to pull it through. Here's the wire that we've been tugging on. Did it. Look at that. The conduit's pulled through. And our little idea for this wire worked out perfectly. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my goodness. That makes me so happy. We got it pulled through. Okay, so now I kind of want to route this in a way that isn't going to interfere with some of our wiring. So this has still got to be tidied up. But if we route it, so these are our propane sensors. This is the lead for the other conduit, and then this wiring goes back to our I believe that's our propane regulator wiring. So what we're gonna do is let's just get our fish our lead line off, and then I can more easily route it behind these things along the hole here and get it back to the aft lazarette where eventually it'll be installed. This is so cool. Okay, I'm not done yet. This is giving me some positive reinforcement. Be right. There we go. I taped up the end of this just to keep dirt and debris from getting inside of our conduit there. So I'll just keep it safer and cleaner on the inside because we want grease in there, not gross. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, I got worried for a little bit because it's been so long since we've taken this apart. I was almost not remembering how the conduit routes back here. Okay, so that, not this one, but that long black one there that comes all the way over here, that's our conduit. It goes down through this gap that's in between this shelf and the side of the hole, behind this jumble of bilge pump hose. That's a whole nother separate project. I honestly dream about getting that all cleaned up and routed appropriately as well, but not quite yet. Meanwhile, our new conduit is diving down here, through that hole, under the shelf, and then out here. So we just keep tugging to where it needs to go. So it comes, and then boom. Actually, this is the top one, so I think it'll go over here. Boom. But as is classic boatwork fashion, I forgot to epoxy those holes. So this hole here and this hole here, still solid, but no rot. But again, just some unthickened epoxy inside there to keep the moisture out would be a good thing. So when I had the epoxy out last time, I should have just went ahead and did that. But I totally forgot about these ones. But this is a huge win. We got the first one in, and let's go take a look at what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so we just got back in the boat after basically terminating the conduit in those two holes in the aft lazarette. So that's like as far as the conduit will go back. But look at how much we have left over. This whole thing. There's the tip right there. That white tip. That whole thing is left over. What is it with me ordering things too big or too long? Goodness. I mean, I assume it's my fault because I'm the one that gave Edson all the measurements. But that is really, really long. Anyway, not that big of a deal. It's easy to cut. We'll just use our cutting wheel to zip that right off. But dang, kind of a waste of material, waste of like shipping, packaging, waste of money for sure, because you pay by the foot, I believe it was. I don't remember, but it's custom ordered. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys the Terminator in here, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that tonight because it's way, way, way too long. I'm gonna try. maybe kind of coil it up so you guys kind of get the idea of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, check it out. So I was able to kind of coil the conduit into the cabinet here. So this tip goes in one of these holes just like that. See that? And then this nut that we're probably going to end up replacing goes on the other side of this bulkhead, like over here, and then screws on and sandwiches that together. So that's how that gets held there. But clearly, like I said, we have some trimming to do. And I've concluded that I'm gonna order proper, well, if I can find them, proper stainless steel versions of these. Because I was looking through some old photos when we took the old one apart, and these were very rusty. We'll show you that on screen, but like, I don't think I want to go with these again. So we'll see if I can order some stainless ones of these. All right, well, pretty good day overall. I think it's only been, let's see, I got here around 4:30 and it's just after 6. So an hour and a half, and we got one of the conduits in. Well, in as far as like where it's gonna lay, but there's still obviously trimming to do, and we got to put those oil cups in. Got to get this hardware in if we can to replace that. But yeah, I mean, kind of the scariest part or the hardest part is pretty much done, because I was kind of worried that how it would feed behind the bulkheads, and if the conduit wasn't gonna go through or, you know, get stuck. But we did it, and it's in, and we can confidently say that the boat is just a little bit better today. See you guys on the next one. Bye.
Vamos a bailar.